Hey you guys, it's me again. Okay, so we're gonna try to finish these up. And like I did the last time I did a series of journals, I sort of, I don't know, skipped ahead and but the stuff that I did really wasn't anything, that major. I did stitch the journals together. I just did a 2-hole stitch like I usually do on minis. Um, and if somebody would like me to show you how I do that, I can totally do that. Um, I have actually shown it before when I did, other journals. But anyway, so I got I put all of the pages in and then added some of the little pockets and stuff that, I was working on in the last video. Just added some little tuck spots. And then if you remember the library pockets that I did, kind of like the very first video in this series, I added a small one in the front and then a taller one in the back. And then I just did very simple little cluster with a piece of scrap piece of fabric and then a little milk cap. And I did the same thing on the front, very, very simple. And then I just stapled that on there, but that's really all I've done. I sealed the envelope shut and then cut the end off and then just added a little thumb notch. I didn't cut the little corner off. I guess I'm getting lazy. So there's, each of these has pretty much the same stuff, but some of them had, I had like 9 of the Rick Rack labels. So some of them got a Rick Rack label, others got something else. Anyway, so here's where we're at. I need to finish the cover. I'd like to, this trim, I just want to tack that down just a little bit so it's not quite so floppy. And do my closure, add some kind of charm, and maybe, add some beads and some buttons on the strings. I did bind these with a double thread. It's a wax cotton thread or wax linen thread. I think it's actually cotton, but anyway, I used a double layer of that because I wanted to have more strings here to work with. Plus, I think it might be a little sturdier. I don't know. This is a lot of pages, so it's quite a bit to make sure that it's sturdy. I did want to show you on some of the pages that are made from the black photo album paper. I added some fabric along the spine of that page on some of them because I noticed that the larger ones were actually cracking a little bit, and so I just glued fabric along there and then ran a stitch right along the spine so that this was a little bit sturdier, and I feel like it's really sturdy now. It's not going anywhere, and I don't think it's gonna tear. I would hate that if it was to tear open and then you wouldn't have that page in there, because I think it's kind of cool. So anyway, I didn't really do much else as far as embellishing these. I think it's enough. I really do. Like just adding these little cards and stuff that have little bits of fabric here and there. I really feel like that's enough, and it doesn't, I really don't like to go overboard on that anyways. So on these guys that have the fabric, I'm just going to add a teeny bit of art glitter glue just to tack these down. And whoops, because I don't want them flopping around so much. So like that one's fine. That one's nothing major. But But like, if I feel like they're gonna be annoying to somebody, then I'm just tacking them down a little bit. Okay, so I'll do that. And then, yeah, and I love that glue because it dries really fast. So then basically on these, the square ones, I don't really feel like I need to do much else on the covers. They're good. I like them the way they are. I like this kind of loose, and you know, you can kind of see through it and stuff. So I did the same thing, double layer of that waxed thread. So now I just need to do my eyelets, and I decided to go ahead and use these wide eyelets because the colors that I have are, I think they go pretty well with this. And I'm running low on like regular 3/8 inch eyelets. So, okay, so the only thing with this is you want to make sure when you're using these wider ones that, you know, you set your eyelet in far enough so that it doesn't, you know, stick out over the edge. And as per usual, I eyeball this, and I'm just going to punch my hole. I know I have with this knot seal my pocket closed. And in case I use, let me see what the setting is that I use on this thing. So it's the large side. So it's what is it? Oh my God, it's so hard to read. Anyways, it's the larger of the, you know, pokey side, and then it's number 2 on the bottom. Okay. And I like to use that number 2 because it causes the eyelet to really roll in, and it gets really flat. So when you use the one that's more curved, for some reason it causes the eyelet to kind of splay out more. Anyway, so to be sure that those are in the same position, I kind of close the journal a little bit, and then I just do like a pencil mark on the other side just to be sure I get it in the same area. Okay, and then while I'm at it, I'm just going to go ahead and punch my hole for my charm. Sometimes I have to trim off this little bit of fabric part. Use another one of those wide eyelets. Okay, and then I'm going to use, I decided to use baker's twine on these as a closure. So I'm going to do a pretty generous amount of baker's twine. And then when I put it on, I'm going to double it. Whoops. I didn't cut it in half. Hold on. Hold the phone. Oh my God. In case anybody's wondering, the second Farmhouse bundle kit, whatever you want to call it, that are now all officially paid for. Thank you guys. Those are going to be shipped. They'll be packed up you know, today and tomorrow, and then I'll have them picked up on Monday to go out, and they're going priority. So you should have them, I would say, Wednesday or Thursday, maybe before that. I don't know. Okay, so then what I did was all of the stuff that was like left over that I didn't want to attach to the journal in any way. I just took it all and put it in a bag and added a couple of extras. So any of the pages that got trimmed off when I did the trimming on the edges, I just added those into the bag. And there were some that, you know, oops, I didn't mean that to get trimmed off, but so I gave you those pieces. And then some of these, this was from a children's like picture dictionary, and I just cut out any that I thought were in any way remotely related to farm life. And then I did put one of these little tags with the, you know, the yo-yo that I disassembled, and put a piece of cardstock on the back of it. And then each pack has one of these little tags with some embellishment on it. Gave you a couple more of these little guys just because I think they're cool and I think they're useful. And I'm sure, you know, you can figure out something to do with them. And then I had a whole bunch of those, so I just added a couple more. And then I put one of the little drinking envelopes in each one. It's like a little pocket. And these are made out of vellum, so I'll bet you $1 million you could drink water out of that thing if you wanted to. And then I added 2 additional end pages from a Reader's Digest in each one. And then just all the extra little doodads. Some of the, I stitched the glassine envelope onto one of these little divider cards on some of them. Some of them I didn't, but so you just got like a bag of goodies, and that stuff just goes all in this bag. And I'm not going to put it in the pockets in the journal. I'm just going to leave it in the bag. So then that will just tuck in the center of the journal, right by the envelope. And same thing on the other journals. Okay, so you know the seam binding, or excuse me, the baker's twine is relatively long, so if you want to, you know, cut that shorter and use some of those pieces somewhere else in the journal, you could totally do that. Okay, and then charms. All right, so I don't know if any of you guys watched Carla's video with the rolled fabric flowers. But I made a bunch of them. And so I'm taking one of the little rolled fabric flowers. I didn't glue it onto anything. I just held it. I just rolled it and rolled it and rolled it. And then I just stitched it closed on my sewing machine so that it wouldn't come undone. It was pretty tricky, I tell you, but I like the way it turned out, and there's nothing on the back of it. So it's kind of like the same on the front and back. But anyway, I want to use these as a charm. So I'm just punching a hole in it with the crocodile. And then I'm going to add an eyelet. Put an eyelet in there. And crimp it. So now it's really, you know, it's really pinched down on the fabric. So I can add a jump and use it as a charm. And then I decided I'm going to go, because I was going to glue these on the front, like kind of like a little cluster or something, but I don't know. I thought it looked kind of dumb. So I didn't do that. And then I'm going to do a couple of milk caps, like a large one and a small one on the cover of each one. And of course, those need to have eyelets. much stuff on my desk right now. Okay, so then I need to, I'm using the smaller eyelets now. So, excuse me. So I just flipped that thing around and now I'm using C. It's C. And then, which one is this? C4. Okay. And then use the smaller hole, the smaller punch. Punch a little hole. Punch a little hole. Okay. And then each one of these guys is going to get one of these number tags, these metal rimmed number tags. So I'm also going to put an eyelet in this one. Some of them already have some holes punched in them, and so you don't need to punch the hole. But anyway, so that's basically what I want to use for charms. And so these are going to need, jump rings. Let's see. I think I can use, I'm just going to use these silver ones. These are a little easier to bend. Isn't this fun, you guys? So, you know, I had to stop myself. There was like, it was kind of like making kits, you know. There's so much stuff that I wanted to, I just wanted to keep adding more and more and more, and they were getting too fluffy. Okay, and then on the this guy, I think I'm gonna add, I'm gonna put it on a bulb pin just because. And then these are gonna get attached with ball chain. But first I want to put a bigger eyelet or a bigger jump ring in the cover. So that the chain will lay flat on the front of the journal. So I buy these ball chain pieces at Joann's, at Joann Fabrics and Crafts. And I think it comes, I think the pack has like 24 of these little sets. And so it's like, I don't know, like 4 inches of ball chain and a connector, and they're already cut and ready to go. So I like those just because they're easy, you know. So I'm just going to string all my little charmy bits on here. Okay. There. Oh, I like it. I like it. Okay. So that's the little charm. And then I thought I would just go a little crazy, and I'm going to add some buttons on these just because I have time, and why not, right? Gonna add some buttons and maybe a couple of beads. So I'm just going through 2 holes, up through one and then down through the other. Maybe. Okay, come on. And then depending on how big the hole is, a lot of times I will thread a small bead on there. Hang on, let me find these little beads. I like to use these beads. They're called E beads, letter E, because they're kind of like the smallest bead you can get that this cord will go through, and then just one knot usually holds it in place. So just adding one little button, and let's see. And I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other journals. Only difference is I don't have to, so I try to make sure I don't have to, you know, tack down the fabric on those other ones. So I try to make sure that they're kind of at different positions. Just for variety, you know. Okay. So that, 2 little beads or 2 little buttons. Actually, I'm going to do one more, and then I'm just going to add a bead on there too. Do one more button. Let's do a red one. This cord it's waxed, but sometimes it gets really irritating. It's not as stiff as the cotton cord is. So, okay. And then see if I can get a bead on there. That always works. We got the pool set up yesterday, you guys, or opened up. It's supposed to be like 90 here today in Spokane. Okay, so that's the buttons. And then I have these kind of funny beads. Well, I have some stars, and then I have these little pigs, these little pink glass pigs. I wish I had more of those, because I would totally put one on each journal. And then I have there's some fruit. So there's some grapes, some watermelons, a pear. I've got 6 pieces of fruit and 5 pigs. So I'm short, what is that, 6? So I'm short 3 beads to do all of them. So I think I've got these hearts, these big like pink heart beads. And then I also have these little, well, big polka dot beads. So I think I'm going to use the polka dot beads just because I think they're cool. Or I could use a star. I don't know. I don't know. We'll just see what happens. But I do want to use, I think I'm going to use one of the little pigs on this one. So I want to make sure that the pig is upright. I don't want him to be upside down for his whole life. The whole rest of his life. Oh, and I need another one of those little beads. Okay. So I want this guy to wind up being kind of long because I want it to be able to get out of the way when somebody is writing in their journal. You know, I don't want it to like constantly be under the journal when, you know, because that could be really annoying if you're trying to write in your book. Buttons can lay flat, so that's not a huge deal, but a big fat pig bead, you want to be able to move that away from your work. So I can even move that up a little bit, like the whole string. I just kind of slid it up a little bit, and then you can actually just put all the stuff up to the top when you're writing in the book. So okay, so I think that's it. Like, that's pretty much it. You know I'm leaving all the pockets empty and stuff, but I think I don't know. I think it's kind of fun for somebody when they get a journal to, you know, open their pack of goodies and then start putting everything away. Well, that's just, I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I think that makes it more fun. So, all right. So that's it, guys. These little farmhouse style journals are done. So I got to finish them up. And so I'll tell you what, if anybody would like one of these and you don't mind which one you get necessarily, like, I would be okay with you specifying square or tall. Like, you could say square or tall. They're going to be, I think I'm going to price them the same. And if I could avoid, here's what I'm trying to say. If I can avoid having to list them on Etsy, I would love that. Okay. So I'm going to say, if you would like one of these journals, I'm going to include shipping in the US in the pricing, and I'm going to go $75 on each of these journals. Okay. $75, and there's 14 available. So if you would like one, I will take requests by email. If you don't care, but you have to tell me if you want a tall or square, or if you don't care. I'll tell you, it's better if you say you don't care one way or the other, because I know that one or the other is going to like sell faster than the other, and then you might wind up with nothing. I'm just saying. You know, or you just tell me what you want if you want one. Okay. And the reason for that is to be honest, like, I don't know, I might be trying to move away from Etsy a little bit. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm just going to see. Okay. So, but these guys are basically done. I just need to finish the, you know, all that stuff. But so just let me know if you would like one, and let me know what style you want. Okay. And I will confirm to you pretty quickly. Kind of like when I do the book sale. I will confirm back to you. If I don't, if I don't sell them all that way, then I will definitely put them on Etsy and they'll be available. So and I will try to update the video to let you know if they are in fact listed on Etsy. Otherwise, I'm just going to do them through PayPal and, first come, first serve. Okay. All right, guys. And I think, it's Saturday. I feel like most people are home. And so I think that's pretty fair too. So I'm just going to try it this one time and see how it goes. Okay, guys. I love you. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.